Do you love trotters? Do you love local four-legged heroes from days gone by? Well, then you may just love this blast from the past. The setting is Dover Downs, the year is 1997, and the one to watch is the top trotter, Kavakola.
They're off from the far outside. Bam Bambino. Out for the lead. Lil Steiger got away second in Deja, third on the outside. Otoby Paul looking for a spot. Then it's Reality Bites, followed by the trailers Yankee Guru. And at the end, Kavakola. They move on the first turn from the outside. Jimmy King and Lil Steiger up to get the lead now. Bam Bambino is back to second with Deja third. Two back to Otoby Paul, who dropped in there fourth, 29 and 4/5. They trot past the stands now on the way toward the half. Lil Steiger leads the way with Bam Bambino second and Deja third. Then it's Otoby Paul, gap of 2 lanes to Reality Bites, the trailers Yankee Guru, and Kavakola is at the end. They go into the clubhouse turn. On the way toward the halfway mark and leading the field is Lil Steiger. Bam Bambino is second and Deja still third, followed by Otoby Paul. To the outside, Yankee Guru. Kavakola follows Yankee Guru. And staying in there at the rail is Reality Bites, the half, 1 minute 2/5 up the back stretch. Lil Steiger going to be joined now by Deja. Back to third, Bam Bambino. 3 lanes to Yankee Guru into fourth. Dropping back steadily, Otoby Paul. Alongside comes Kavakola. Shovel back to last, and now coming out, Reality Bites. They go past 3/4 with Lil Steiger on top by about a length. 1:30 and 4/5. Midway on the final turn, Lil Steiger. Here comes Kavakola and Eddie Davis. They look serious. They're getting up close to the leader now as they come to the top of the stretch. Lil Steiger going to be hard-pressed to hold off. Kavakola can't do it. Kavakola went right by, and Kavakola will trot right to the wire, draw away with every stride. Eddie Davis and Kavakola, they crush him here by 2.5 under the line. Lil Steiger, late move, Reality Bites third into a 1 and 4.
Kavakola wins with the living legend Eddie Davis in the driver's seat. This son of Supergill was just 2 years old at the time when he crossed the wire first in 2:01 and 4 for owner-trainer Charles Pitts. And in case you're wondering, Kavakola is still strutting his stuff at 25 years old. He just happens to be doing it in a field rather than on a first state oval. We had the opportunity to talk with Frannie West, who has been a part of this great trotter's life since 1996, when she and her husband of 45 years, Charlie Pitts, who passed away in 2001, bought him as a yearling at a New Jersey auction. And as Frannie explains, they were pleasantly surprised by the price they paid for Kavakola.
He always had this one floppy ear on the left-hand side. If you take notice, it just kind of flops over. I don't know if that was the reason, but he brought $3,500. And my husband thought that was a pretty good deal because he was such a nice made colt. He liked him so much. When we first started training him, my husband put trotting hobbles on him. And of course, you know, just the regular gear that a trotter would wear. And he just lowered his time schedule every week just on regular time like he was supposed to. And he was never any problem to train and never caused any problems at all. He was just always the good horse that he turned out to be. And we were very happy about that because sometimes trotters are a little difficult. I think one of my favorite memories of Kavakola, and of course my husband Charlie's, was when he trotted in 1:55 and 4 at Dover Downs and took his lifetime mark. Now that was in the year 2000, and we were so proud of him. And being as it was the local track and you know it was local here, that was very nice. And our driver at the time was Eddie Davis Sr., and he did most of the driving for Kavakola, but there were a lot of the other drivers that drove him. Eddie Davis Jr. drove him some. And he had a few other drivers, but Eddie Davis Sr. was his main driver.
Kavakola has been retired now for about 15 years, and he lives on the beautiful Delaware farm that Charlie and Frannie bought back in 1970. He enjoys a life of leisure out in the field with his buddy, Reachforthestars, another retired racehorse.
Well, since he retired in 2004, it's just kind of been a replica of what he's doing right now, just what he wants to do. Now, in the wintertime, we keep bales of hay up underneath the overhang there. And like a day like today, he and Stars have a 17-acre field that serves the room just as they please. And they're grained every morning. They get fed grain once a day. And then they go on and wander about. And as you see, they're in pretty good condition. And then every so often as necessary, we worm them and try to keep them as healthy as we can. To have a trotter turn out to be like he did turn out to be, he had 143 lifetime starts. The wins were 33, the seconds 26, and the thirds 20. So out of 143 starts, over half the time he was first, second, or third. So he go on to earn $383,000. And of course, after my husband passed away in 2001, my son said, "Boy, I would like to get him to that $400,000 mark, Mom." Well, he was at 380, but he had a couple legs with a couple bad suspensories, and he was like saying, "Time's up, folks." So we had to say, hey, it's time to turn him in the field and just let him have fun and have a good time and be happy like we had been happy with him. This horse doesn't have any quirks or anything that he does unusual, but he is the boss. Stars has to go where he says we're going to go, and if they turn and left and went out to the field now, he'd be the one leading, and Stars would be following, because he is the boss. And Stars knows it, but that's what he's supposed to be, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, he just was always kind of friendly and nice with all other horses, and when we retired him here, the other horse here with him was the last horse that we actually bred for here on the farm, and they've become buddies, and as you can see, they've been together ever since then. And Kavakola is 25 now, and Stars is 20, so they've been out here together ever since we retired Cavi in 2004, so they've been here, and my husband was very happy about that, because that's one of his last requests before he passed. Always take care of Kavakola, because he took care of us.
Thank you so much, Frannie. And just a side note, Frannie is a lifelong horsewoman and a director of the Delaware Standardbred Owners Association. And she had something special she wanted to share with Post Time fans.
I would like to thank everyone for harness racing in Delaware and to ensure our racing scene in Delaware, because it's so important to our state and to the horsemen. And I'm just so happy that they're allowed to race through all this COVID and everything that's going on. And I'm just so happy that the purse schedule has held up and is in the state it is, and that they're getting that 40% bonus for our Delaware residents. And the DSOA is so responsible for all this that happens to the horsemen, and I encourage all horsemen to support the DSOA.